I wish, about 20 years ago, I knew what Toastmaster was. Because when I became a little famous after winning a lot of medals, and you come back to your city and people invite you as a chief guest to talk on occasions. And initially it was very, very difficult for me because we didn't know how to do it. And over the years, I think I've gained a lot of confidence, and it's all, extempore, because people ask me, have you prepared your speech? I said, no. I said, I speak from my heart, and whatever I tell you is what I've experienced, and it feels good when I talk about whatever I have done or what people want to hear. But of late, I have, in Bangalore, I've realized that I've been to almost all the places where I have to be as a chief guest, and people keep calling me back again and again. And I tell them, okay, I've been to your college or your school or institution before so many years back, and I think you should, ask somebody else to come. So they say, can you suggest any other sports person? Then I have to think twice as to who I have to, recommend, because I say, okay, she's very good as far as her sports career goes, but can she speak? Because when you say she's a sports person, then she has to have some kind of talent to speak in a school. If she goes to school, she has to motivate those children, and if she goes to a college, it's even more a difficult task for her to motivate them plus inspire them. And in an institution like this, where all of you are here to learn how to speak well and feel good about yourselves, it's even more difficult. So it's for us a challenge again. The other day, Ashwini, Mashapa and myself saying, what do we do? How do we, teach these kids, our younger generation, to speak? But they're not interested. So it's really, really difficult for us. But one of the tasks that we want to do is change the sports scenario. And actually speaking, that we've started this Clean Sports India about 4 years ago. And it's just 10 of us who are founder members and from different fields of sports. And we came together and said it's high time that we change something in this country as far as sports goes, because Suresh Kalmadi and Lalit Banon, the likes of people who were there in the sports federations and associations when we were competing in the 80s and 90s. And even now, after so many years, they are still holding course. And at that point of time, they wouldn't threaten us. We did what we wanted. We performed, and they couldn't stop us in any way. But now, the present generation, they are scared of people like, Lalit Banon, because he throws his weight around, and they can't stand up to their what they want to say. And when we started the organization, people said, "Are you crazy? Do you think you can change the system?" So I said, well, if all of us sit back and say, can we change this? We can't do anything to change the system and not do anything about it, nothing is going to change. And I think I can be proud enough to say that we are the people just before the Commonwealth Games started all the noise about Suresh Kalmadi and Lalit Banon. There was so much of scam happening, and we were instrumental in them getting, going to jail. And those were the same people who, called us and said, what is it that you all want? I mean, do you think that you can run sports organizations like we did? He said, yes, I think we can do a better job than you all are doing right now. What have you done for the improvement of sports? I mean, there is so much of talent in the country, believe me. It's not that there is no talent, but it's just that the kids don't want to do it. They say, what is it that we have here to do sports? That it's just passion. All of us did sports just out of pure passion. I never ever thought that, I could represent the country when I started when I was 12 years old. And I never thought that I could win medals at the Asian level. I never thought that I could find a job through sports. And it all happened, and I'm here because of sports. And if somebody asks me, what would you want to be if you were born again? I said, well, I want to be born as a sports person again and probably achieve much better results than what I have done in this generation. Because I always felt that if I was born in some other country, the facilities would have been better coaching and things like that, and I could have done better. But nevertheless, I'm happy to be born in India, in Bangalore. Going back, it's still a challenge for us to get the former sportsmen to be involved in administration. Because most of them who are holding posts in sports federations are people coming from political backgrounds, and there is no passion. They're not making money except in cricket, where they make tons and tons of money, and no other sports federation, the people holding posts there, make money. It's just that they want to feel powerful. And that's not enough for improvement of sports. And some of the events, the results have not improved in the last 20-25 years. And as recently as a week ago, the sports minister, has inducted me, put me in one of the posts saying that you are one of the members of the expert committee to prepare the athletes, the track and field athletes, for the Asian Games and Commonwealth Games, which is coming up in July and August. And my responsibility is to go and speak to the athletes, the coaches, and in wherever they are training, and ask them what is it that they are lacking. And I was in the SAI Sports, the Sports Authority of India's South Centre in Kingeri, Bangalore, and I was talking to the girls and boys, and I feel there is no life in them. And I was looking back when we were training in Patiala and in Bangalore. We called Patiala the godforsaken place because we did nothing other than training, and it was such a horrible place to be in. But I think that's what is intended, because we are supposed to be in such environments and produce results. But when I met these kids here, there is no smile in their faces. And I'm wondering what is wrong with them, because we enjoyed every day of our training was tough. We trained like dogs, but at the end of the day, we had fun. I mean, if I go back to so many years where I quit in '92, and I'm friends with people who I've competed with and trained with. On the track, we were, competing against each other, but when we're back in the room, we were friends. But I don't think that is happening now, and the kids are not enjoying what they're doing. So I really have to go back and ask them, personally, individually, as to what is it that they want to feel happy about. Because I can't see them smiling, nor is there happiness in their face. So I don't know, probably there is so much of pressure that, they cannot take it. Only few of them could speak, and even those athletes, if they want to express themselves, they can't speak. I don't know what accreditations they wear. I mean, we didn't have any of those accreditations, but now I have to really find out what I can do to change. I think if you're happy about what you're doing, the results will be better. And for me, it was very, very important when I was pregnant, and I felt at that point of time that I hadn't achieved enough. Whatever dreams I hadn't reached anywhere near that. And I told my husband that I think I should get back to training as soon as I can, because only then I can achieve my result. And then when I was jogging even 10 months before she was born, 10 days before she was born. So people thought I was crazy, and so what are you doing here, running with such a big stomach? And then I had to hide away from such people, and I did it when it was kind of dark. And when she was barely 40 days, I got back to my training, and that's how I could win a medal when she was 10 months old. And after I won the medal, she came along with me to, it was in Guntur, and it was very, very hot, and I left her in the room with one of my friends, and I went competed and came back, and when I was still present, I took her to the stadium and said, whose baby is this? People asked me, I said, that's my daughter. I said, how? When? So that's the question. So for me, it was, if you make up your mind about what you want in life, it's not a bed of roses. It was very, very, very difficult for me to achieve what I wanted, because being a mother, working woman, and housewife, it is very, very difficult. Now when I think back, I don't know how I did it. But at that point of time, I wanted to do it, and it just happened. Everything fell into place. And after she was born, and when she started, and whenever we went for competitions, we took her along with us. And when she had to go to a regular school when she was 4, that's when, though I was on the top, even and then national medalist, I realized that suddenly my priorities changed. I said, I cannot, have her going along with me to different places where I'm competing. She has to start going to school. And then I had to decide whether I had to leave her with a maid at home or, I had to give up sports. And I said, okay, I think it's time for me to give up my sports career and concentrate on my daughter. So I think as a woman, it's very, very difficult to make these, changes, whether, it's the right time to do it or you want to do it. But you're the best person to analyze and take such decisions. And I think it was a very good decision because it was important for her that I'm around when she starts going to school. And for me also it was, and I had, reached, in India I didn't have too many competitions, but if I had to win medals at the Asian level, that means I had to put in longer hours and work harder to win medal at the Asian level. And that means I spent lesser time with my daughter. And I said, I think it's not possible and it's time for me to quit. And it was very, very difficult, but you have to do it. And then I was working, I was with Corporation Bank for 26 years. I quit about 2 years ago. And working there was difficult. I mean, initially, first 10 years, it was not so hectic because I used to be in the national camps and most of the times competing. So I would get special leave and time off, and it wasn't difficult. But once I quit, and I knew that I had hung my boots up, I had to work long hours. And I remember when I used to leave the office at 1 o'clock, one of my colleagues said, "Oh God, you're so lucky, you can leave work at 1 and then go to the stadium." I said, "Well, you might consider I'm lucky, but it doesn't come easy. I would challenge you to come to the stadium, one particular day and do 10% of what I do, and then you'll see how lucky I am." For me, whatever I achieved in life has not come easy. It has been hard work, and I have a very, positive mind. And that has helped me, and I tell all the kids when I go to schools and colleges that don't give up easily. I mean, these days I see many kids that they don't set any targets, they don't have any dreams, and they just live for the day and they don't know what it is. And in most ways, I think we as parents have to blame the kids because we laid out to them in a platter and life has been too easy for them. And they ask for something and we say, okay, I'll give it to them. But for us, we had, when we were growing up, I have 4 sisters, so we were 5 siblings, all of us girls. And I remember when we had the courage to ask the father, were you trying for the prodigal son? He said yes. And then he smiles and he says, I have no regrets now, and I have 5 beautiful girls. So it was totally different growing up when we were kids. We used to cycle to the track every day, 5 kilometers, morning and evening, up and down. But now if a child has to do something other than his school activities, extracurricular activities, a parent has to totally involve himself, to drop the child, pick him up, and things like that. So it's a big challenge for us as parents now to help the kids do extracurricular activities. There's so much of talent, but if somebody has to come to Kandira Stadium to train where they have the only decent track, if somebody has to come somewhere from Yalaka and Whitefield, they don't want to do it because it's quite a distance for them to travel, and the parent doesn't have the energy because most of the parents now, both are working and it's not possible. So life is getting tougher and tougher, but I think if we are there to motivate our kids and tell them that you have to set goals, and if you can achieve it, it's with the help of parents and teachers, it's fantastic. And I think teachers now play a very, very important role because most of the time they are in school, 80% of the time spending time there, and they play a major role. So whenever I go to school, I speak to the teachers separately and tell them not, the teachers who have taught us so many years back, they have to change their mode of thinking and teaching, totally to teach the present generation kids. So for me, it's been a learning experience, and I have a daughter and a son. My daughter is 25 and my son is 20. And even to, the way I have brought my daughter and my son is totally different. With my daughter, I remember when she was 18 and started going out, partying and things like that, I'd say, okay, in a year you can go for 6 to 8 parties. And believe me, she did that. But with my son, who's 20 now, doesn't care. He just comes and tells me, Mom, I'm going out every other day. So when he comes home, I should say, okay, he's back home and he's so it's like that. It's totally different. So I've got the red card out there. So I have to stop. So that means I have to stop, right? Yeah. Okay. So for me, it's I know Godfrey through Corporation Bank, and that's how he called me and said, "Can you come here and speak on Women's League?" And Sutta called me and she said, "Today's theme is Live Life Queen Size." I think it's very, very important, because when I speak to women, most of the times, they, whether she's 35 or 40 or 50, the first thing they say is, "Oh God, I'm old." And that the first time, the minute you say that you're old, you're old. And you say that you're not old. I mean, when I was in school, I remember this conversation telling my friends, my mother is 40 and she's old. But now, if you're 50, you're still not old. I don't feel old. So it's all in your mind. And there are some of, I don't know how many of you exercise regularly, because everywhere I go, I want to talk about fitness and exercises. And I think for me, it's really, really important. The first word my father told me was, health is wealth. If you have no health, you have lost everything in life. There's no point making tons and tons of money and your health is not there. Believe me, if you're fit, you feel mentally good, and physically you don't know what your body is telling you. You feel so good about it. So those of you who are not exercising, I think you should start. There is no age to start exercising. Yes. Even if you have not exercised and you are over 35 or over 40, it's not too late. It's never too late to start exercising. Okay? So it's a pleasure for me to be with you here today, and I hope all of you, bring more people into Toastmasters, and I think I should send the sports persons here too.